Okay, hello everyone, it's me, the boy that you've all been waiting for. Why is this not... Uh... Uh... I don't know if that works. Okay, but anyway, yeah, okay, I think that works. Okay, anyway, yeah, hi, so in today's video we're gonna be going through... Well, forget Discord notifications, why does this have to happen, my guy? This is actually strange. One sec. Let me go deal with this boy. Okay, those are some cool maps. But for the moment, yeah, I'm just gonna mute that. Alright. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Minor inconvenience, people. Anyway, yeah, so, okay, so, in today's video, we're gonna be going through all my lore. I was gonna do this big thing where, I'd compile together, a bunch of clips from my lore and have like a voiceover basically explaining all the stuff that's happened, but, to be honest, that's kind of too much effort. To be honest, let's be real here. That's way too much effort. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of do this. I'm just gonna like go through my lore. Also, yeah, I kind of took this idea from a Mimic Term. I was originally always gonna do this, but this like format of doing it, yeah, that's just kind of how I'm gonna be doing it. So yeah, okay, yeah, all right. So yeah, I think that's about it. So let's begin. This video, I know this video is gonna be long or not. I am eventually gonna make a video that's like actually like professionally made, but for the moment this is all you guys are getting. And obviously, quick spoiler or notice, not all my Gmod FNAF lore is actually currently obviously done. It's a lot of the videos, there are a few videos here in the playlist that actually only I can see, that are only available, they're private, so obviously I'm gonna just cut the video when it comes up to them so you guys won't be spoiled. But yeah, that's about it. So with all that said, let's begin the lore explaining. So yeah, alright, so we start in 1958. There's this guy called William Afton, and he's like, wow, I'm such a cool life, except I don't because my dad hates me. Yeah, this is his dad. He's sad. She's quite sick, William, but yeah, and also his mom was sick, but that's not really important. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go out and meet with some of the cool kids from school. And then the cool kids are like, yeah, we're so cool and stuff. And it's like, hey, you're a dumb kid. And then they just start beating him up. And then there's this other guy called Henry Emily, who's exists. This guy, and then his parents they're very poor, but they have a happy family. And Henry's like, okay, I'm gonna go out and go with some of the cool kids. But then he sees the cool kids beating up William, and then he's like, hey, that's not nice. And then why is it loading? Yeah. Okay, and then he's like, oh, William, are you okay? And he's like, yes, thank you, Henry. And then they're like, wanna be friends? And he's like, sure, buddy. And so yeah, and then they go and then they become friends, and then like yeah, and then they become friends and stuff, and then like 5 years later they're like 15, I think, and William is pretty sad and depressed. I was like, oh yeah, what's gonna happen? Yeah, and then his dad just straight up like murders his mom. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, you won't do it, and then it's like, oh yeah, you think I won't? And it's like, okay, die. And he's like, oh my gosh, oh no, the mommy. And then yeah, she's it's really violent scene. Yeah, she's just dead. She got bonked on the head really hard. And then he runs to Henry's house. He's like, what's going on, buddy? And it's like, oh, my dad killed my mom. And then they try to call the police, but the police doesn't like them. So, and then then William lives with Henry for the next 3 years. And then Henry's dad freaking dies because his mom was already dead. And it's like, okay, time to move out, yay. And then they go with this random guy here. He's like, okay, I'm ready to move out. And he's like, alright, yeah, we got all the stuff in the truck. Actually, I think he's Australian, I'm not sure, it doesn't matter. And then it's like, William is like, you know what, I'm gotta do something real quick. And then then the taxi drives away. And you wonder, what did William do? That was really bad. Was it a bad thing? And then it's revealed, guess what? He killed his dad. Oh my gosh, it's William's first kill. Wow. And then it's 15 years later, 1981, and then they're like in their 30s, and they open the first, because they always had like a plan of opening like some diner at some point, because they wanted to make like kids happy for some reason. And so they're like in their 30s, and they open Fred's Diner. I know it's called Fred's Family Diner, but it's a different place, okay? And then there's Fred over there, yeah. And then but they entertain like a few kids, and William puts on this bunny suit. Then the Fred just kind of, you know, sings for a bit. You know, William puts on this spring trap suit. And it's like, alright, don't mess up. It's like, alright. And then the kids leave, and it's like, oh, okay, bye kids. Have a fun rest of your life. Yeah, and then William, like, the lights go out. And yeah, he's all like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, and it's like, oh golly gee, oh golly gee. And then but he hits a button, and then when the lights turn back on, yeah, the whole place starts to burn down, and then they get this suit and also Fred out of the way, and he's like, oh no, the place is burning down, oh golly gee, and then he starts going fire for some reason, but then it's fine. He goes, oh no, and yeah, and then that stuff happens, and then William's like, no, Henry, look out of the way, there's gonna blow, and it's like, wait, what? And then the thing explodes, but they're fine, they're main characters, and then it's like, god damn it, William, you always mess up everything, and then let's go our separate ways. And yeah, then Fred's Diner, the first location, closed down because it burned to the ground. So that's about it. All right, next part, Golden Origins Part 2. Basically, it takes place. So this is like 2 years later. So now William is married. Well, William was already married before, but he has his son Michael. Always abuses his son Evan. Yeah, Michael's like, oh dad, I'm too quirky and cool, and then Evan's just sad, and it's like, alright, whatever, I don't care. And then he goes to the brand new Fredbear's Family Diner, which is like 10 times as big as the last one. Like, yeah, it's a lot bigger. And then he meets Henry, and they're like, hey, what's good, haven't seen you in like 2 years. Like, yeah, I know, bro. And then they basically just like, they just go through it. There's also new robots. There's Fredbear and the Spring Bonnie, which is like, yeah, and then there's blood there for some reason, but that's not important. It's just, say it's grape juice. And yeah, there's the Fredbear animatronic, and then there's a Spring Bonnie animatronic, and that's pretty cool. Like, look at these two lovely boys, and yeah, that's cool. And it's like, alright, time to go to the party, yay, for the grand opening. And then they go, and William brings his entire family. I'm not sure why he brought his family, though. He did it for some reason. He was like, alright, is everyone ready for the cool time? Yes, go, yay. I was like, I don't care, dad, whatever. And basically, yeah, just stuff like that happens, and there's these random like employees that Henry got. They're back here. Here they are, these 3 guys here. But they all get fired by the end of it, so it doesn't matter. And then they try to entertain. There's also a ball pit for some reason, because yes. Yeah, and then there's these people, random, the first customers technically, and then they go. But then this random dude like goes into the kitchen and was like, okay, it's time to get all the stuff ready. There's a bunch of random stuff. All the stuff isn't really that important. And yeah, then there's a fire. I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, there is a fire at some point. Yeah, and then all the grey shirt people just get fired, and then William and Henry leave, and so also Henry has a daughter called Charlotte, and so that happens. And so that grand opening wasn't exactly the best day. And then it's like a week later, it's Evan's birthday party. I think it's a week later. Is it a week later? Yeah, a week later. Evan's birthday party, so it's obviously, you know, William's son's birthday party. But then the evil Michael and all of his friends like, oh, let's go pay this twerp a lesson. So they go and they shove him into Fredbear's mouth, you know, just for a laugh. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, no, it wasn't fine. Then if I can get a good shot of it, yeah, you know, Evan's like this, and he's thinking, oh, he's probably fine, guys, you know, he's probably fine, and then, yeah, it's like, oh, is Evan okay? I'm sure he's fine. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and yeah, Evan isn't okay. Yeah, Evan isn't. Evan just isn't okay. Yeah, he Evan's dead basically. Evan's get freaking chomped, and yeah, and then the paramedics come and freaking, he's traumatized. He's so freaking traumatized, bro. And so, oh, I'm so sad. And then the paramedics are like, we gotta make an emergency rendezvous to the hospital. And then William and everyone leaves, like, it's so sad, boo-hoo. And then Michael's like sad, because like, it's all my fault. And then he's just like, yeah, bro, you know what, screw this, I'ma just leave. And he just freaking leaves, and then, yeah, no one's seen Michael. And then later that night, yeah, later that night after Evan gets freaking chomped, there's a security puppet, which was also another animatronic along with Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Was like Henry was like, okay, we gotta move you out for repairs, and Charlotte is obviously waiting outside, and then Williams like comes out and is like, oh, Uncle Will, you don't look so good, or you haven't shaved in ages. I was like, yeah, but guess what? I'm gonna murder you. And then yeah, also the security puppet has like this security protocol where it's like it goes to help it goes to help Charlotte if she's in danger. So it goes to help Charlotte. And then yeah, and then Henry comes out to see, hey, wait a second, where did the security puppet go? It's like, wait a second, what's going on over here? This is kind of sus, kid. It's like, the security puppet is deactivated. I'm sure that's not important. Yeah, it's probably fine. And then, yeah, Charlotte dead. Yeah, William killed Charlotte. And then, as William is running away, he meets this random guy who was like a father. And he's like, yeah, hi. Hey, what's up, fam? And yeah, you're pretty cool. It's like, thanks. But then he falls and hits his head and he freaking dies. Like, oh god, that's my bad. But then he runs away. And then 2 weeks later, there's this random new scientist guy. Yeah, Henry and William are basically gone from the company at this point because, yeah, one of their Charlotte died and also Evan died, who were their children. So this random old man, as well as the new sort of manager, Vincent. They're like, okay, we gotta think of some new plans for this pizzeria place. And then, yeah, but then guess what? Super cool secret stuff happens, and the security puppet starts acting up. It's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to the security puppet? This is insane. Oh my gosh, is she gonna transform? And wait for it. Yeah, then she transformed. That was a cool. I'm actually really proud of that transition. It's a really cool transition. Yeah, and then she's possessed by Charlotte's soul. I was like, oh my gosh. And then turns out Fredbear is possessed as well. It's by Evan's soul. And then Spring Bonnie's also possessed by the soul of that random guy who just fell and hit his head. And then they talk for some reason, and then they're like, oh wait, we have to take our revenge, and William after and stuff like that. It's just a bunch of plot stuff, to be honest. And yeah, then there's this random guy who's just like, do, I'm on my way, I'm so cool, do. And then trips and falls and hits his head. And then there's this random taxi who slowly gets towards him, and then it just runs him over, and then yeah, that happens. And then his soul goes on to possess this endoskeleton guy who's in the back for some reason. I was like, hey, you wanna be friends? I was like, yeah, sure. And then they leave, and then the Vincent guy and the old man like, okay, well, what do you want us to do? And it's like, okay, make a new extension, please. And yeah, that's kind of it. Alright, next video. They make a new extension. Then this takes place like pretty recently after. I know, like 2 weeks. Actually, it takes place like 2 weeks later. What am I saying? Actually, no, wait, like a week later. I think, I don't know. It's like, alright, yeah, we're done with the extension. Then they just go through the entire extension to show, oh yeah, new cool stuff. Wow, so cool. Yeah, super neat. And then yeah, and they're also planning on scrapping these two because that they're pretty sus, because Fredbear kind of bit a child's face off, and that's not very cool. And so, okay, well, we gotta think of a plan. How are we gonna escape these evil people, these evil bad people? And then the Endo guy comes out and he's like, you know what, I honestly don't care about my life. And then like Fredbear's like, no, you gotta care about your life, buddy. I love you. You're my best friend for some reason. And then this guy comes and is like, let's go kill these people. And he's like, should I be concerned? It's probably fine. But seriously though, what do you mean by like killing me? And yeah, so don't worry about it. Oh, okay. And then yeah, the Endo guy freaking dies. And it's like, yeah, time to kill you guys too. I killed your Endo friend. Time to kill you guys too. Ha 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 ha. I was like, oh wait, no, please don't do it. Die. And yeah. Yeah, they don't die, but they get, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, they get thrown into the back and they're all beaten up and stuff. That sucks. And it's like, oh no, we gotta find a way out. And then it's sad, and then he breaks his PC and it's really sad. And guess what? Now there's new animatronics. This is Spring Bonnie version 2, and there's also a Spring Foxy, because he exists for some reason. And if you just wait for it, you'll be able to see it in a second. There's also Fredbear version 2 over there. Yeah. It's like, okay, we'll just move these guys in here. And yeah, and then they also throw the endoskeleton guy back here. It's like, or just go in there, you dumb piece of crap. And it's like, go here. And then throws him there. And Fredbear's like, we can finally escape. Oh my goody god, get god. Yeah, let's go. But then they close the door and they lock it. And there's like, no, I'm stuck here forever. That's pretty sus. So yeah. And it's like, oh god, well I'm alone again. And it's like, wait a second, I can bring animatronics to life. Oh my god, that's so cool. And then she just gives all the new versions of animatronics life. It's like, yar fiddly. And then this random Shadow Bear who, you'll explain why he exists in another series I'm making soon called the Animatronic Factory. I just need to release. I've already had them, all pre-recorded, but yeah. It's like, what should I do? I know. I'm gonna make this portal thing, and then he makes this portal. It's like, let's see about this. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then that's about it. And then he just leaves. So yeah, bye, Mr. Shadow Bear. And then these guys wake up finally. It's like, oh, we're alive. Wow, that's super cool. And then they see the portal and they're like, oh, should we go in? So yeah, probably. And then they all go into the portal, and then the portal just like closes and stuff. So it's like, whoa, who's going at? That's also, they're gonna, another series about those guys will be soon. And then we go on to just more stuff about these guys. All their scenes are basically just them being sad. And then the Vincent guy is like, yeah, the other versions of the animatronics are gone. And the old man's like, fine, I'll make like one more version of the animatronics, freaking weirdo. It's like, okay, cool. And then guess who returns? Henry Emily, oh my gosh, and looks so shabby. He's like, yeah, it's been like a week since my daughter died and my wife also left me. And we can skip most of the stuff. It's basically just saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure William killed my daughter, which is kind of dumb. Yeah, and then he leaves. It's like, yeah, okay, bye guys. And then there's new versions of Fredbear Spring Bonnie version 3, which are those guys. It's like, okay, this is the last chance, okay, this is your last chance. It's like, alright, I won't mess this up, I promise. And yeah, so that's why they put the animatronics on stage and like, alright fam, I'm a head out. Yeah, and then the puppet does something. What you doing? Oh yeah, she gives the Fredbear and the Spring Bonnie man life. So now there's more animatronics with life, and they're like, oh, what's going on? Spooky, stoopy. And it's like more explaining and stuff. And also the Vincent guy decides to become a night guard for some reason, and then yeah, they're just trying to attack him because like, ayo, you're sus kid. It's like, no, I ain't sus. Yeah, that's literally his accent. I don't make him like Texas accent. I'm not sure, but yeah. And so okay, but then the doors get jammed, and he's like, oh golly gee, oh golly gee, oh no. I can't close. I can't open the doors even when I try to open the doors. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh, the power's gonna run out. Yeah, and then the power runs out, and he's like, what happened? And oh, that weirdo, he put all the power. That's weird. And yeah, but then he goes into the back, and then he throws a chair at the generator, and somehow that fixes it. Somehow it fixes it, but okay. And then he's allowed to escape, and he's pretty chill with the animatronics right now, because he by this point he knows that they're actually like real, like, oh, maybe these animatronics, will be cool and stuff, maybe they can last longer. And then these three random people come up and it's like, want to go inside his place? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're really bad at performing because we've never performed before, but then we use our performance mode, and it's like, huh, that's pretty weird. I've never known a performance mode exists before. And then yeah, as you may see, and yeah, they start burning because of the performance mode wasn't meant for them. Also, this random child just dies as well. Well, they're not children, they're like teenagers, but still. Yeah, and then they start burning, and then like Vincent's like, no, my beautiful children, no. And then as you can see it, they're messed up. And so yeah, it's like, god damn it. And then Papa's like, I'm alone again, oh goody. And then Vincent just throws these guys in the back. Yeah, it's like, I don't care anymore. And so, oh, just forget more Fredbear and Spring Bonnie people, oh my gosh. And they're like, wait a second, who are you guys? Like, I don't know. Yeah, and then, yeah, like, someone play some Uno? Yeah, sure. And then apparently the old man, even though he said originally version 3s were going to be the last version, he's like, yeah, I may or may not have made like 7 other versions. So he goes over here, shows him like a bunch of new versions, shows him that like, old prototypes of Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, when that prototypes, they're failed versions as version 4, and then there's version 5, yeah, these are the version 5s. Then you got the version, then you got the version 6s, these guys over here, that they're cool. And then you got the first edition of Freddy and Friends. Freddy and Friends was like a TV show that William and Henry created. Yeah, remember those guys? Yeah, William and Henry, yeah. They created this show about Fredbear and Friends, which is like Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, but also Freddy, Bonnie, Cheek, and Foxy, which were other characters. Like, hey, let's make animatronics about the characters in Fredbear and Friends. Like, okay, cool. And so yeah, that obviously it didn't work. And then and then the battle bus shows up, and the old man person just throws all the useless broken animatronics inside. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the animatronic factory, which is this random factory place while the animatronics are kept and like created and stuff. And yeah, because that's where that's where all the animatronics are created up until like a certain point, but whatever. Yeah, it's like, okay, let's do it. Oh goody, got gumdrops, I'm so excited. Ha 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 ha, I'm so excited, let's go. It's like, okay, yeah. And then it's like, and then he just throws them all away. I was like, all right, well, and then he was yeah, maybe we should stop you making Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. It's like, maybe we should start making, characters with Freddy and Bonnie, Cheek and Foxy and people like that. And then Puppet's like, yeah, I'm alone. I'm so happy. I'm not sad. I'm happy. I'm sad. And then the people play. Yeah. Then this is they play Uno. These characters in the back. And then turns out there's an evil ghost, phantom thing that comes out of the dead Ender skeleton. Hey, that's Phantom Endo. He's gonna be an important character at some point. And then yeah, that's the end of the Golden Origin so far. So yeah, that's oh my thing is gone. That's unfortunate. Where did my playlist go? That's kind of strange. Okay, anyway, yeah. Next we're on to this one called Chica Chicken, the Big Sad Movie. Once again, a lot of this stuff, like the Shadow Bear stuff, and also these guys, will be explained in the Amtron Factory. So yeah. So basically, this is a quick one. So basically, this is homeless chicken, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sad and homeless and stuff." And then this fox comes up and basically just beats her up and stuff. And yeah, and then there's also the fox also has two friends, a bunny. There's the bunny, and there's also a bear somewhere. Yeah, the bear's there, and the place smells so bad, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it smells so bad. He smells so bad. I'm gonna go throw up." And he goes throws up. But then they're like, "I gotta get my revenge." And then yeah, they go away. But then like the chicken's like, "The bunny dropped money," and then the bunny person comes back. I was like, where did my wallet go? And then she kind of smothers the bunny, and then the fox and the bear come by. It's like, where did Bonnie go? I don't know. And then they're like, "Oh my god, Bonnie's dead. What did you do?" And then they're just like kind of like beating her up and stuff. It's like, wait, no, I didn't do anything. And then they make her all ugly and stuff. And yeah, this seems really violent. The bear just rips off her freaking hands. Like, "Oh my hands, oh no!" But then her has like live wires and stuff, and she just kills the, well, not kills, but like deactivates whatever the bear. Oh, excuse me, the bear and the fox guy, and then the bunny is still alive because everyone thought he was dead, but he's actually still alive. And then another violence. This is actually a really violent episode for some reason. And then she just bites his face off. It's like, "Oh my, are you okay?" And yeah, and then he literally just doesn't have a face anymore. Look at this. Look at this. He just doesn't have a face. That's insane. So that's about it for this episode. On to the next one. Alright, so part 2. Basically, the chicken's like, "Okay, time to go do some more stuff." And then she meets this other ugly bear. And it's like, "Oh, I'm Fredbear, but not the other Fredbears." It's like, this is like version 1.5 Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. It's like, "I'm Fredbear, and my friend Spring Bonnie, or my brother Spring Bonnie's been kept captured by this evil shadow people." And then she finds a crowbar and busts him out. And it's like, "Alright, thanks." It's like, "No problem." And then the shadow bear. Yes, this is the same. I don't care about Spring Bonnie. He's not important to the story. And then it's just the same shadow bear as that shadow bear from part 2 of the Golden Order, or part 3, the guy who made a portal, like the same character. And then he also has a brother, this Shadow Bunny guy. And then the Shadow Bunny guy goes down, to see, and he basically, there's stories that they're trying to, find a way to get Spring Bonnie's and Fredbear's souls into these phantom people to make a phantom army to take over the world. So it's kind of confusing. And it's like, "I'm not budging. I'm not telling you anything." It's like, okay, cool. And then he comes down and it's like, "What's going on over here?" And it's like, what's this stuff? And then he gets beaten up, and then it's like, "Alright, fly us, because you have fly powers, so fly us up to the top, please." And then it's like, "Okay, sure, fine, you're so freaking, y'all are so fat." And then, yeah. Yeah, and then, yeah, the bear just pushes him off. It's like, "What? No, wait, no, oh!" And then just freaking kills him. And then goes inside, it's like, "Oh, what's this? Well, what's going on here? Y'all are being pretty sus, I'm not gonna lie." It's like, "I'm gonna get by my brother," and stuff like that. And then he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and stuff. Yeah, haha. And then basically they have a big fight. Spring Bonnie is revived, but then it's like, super cool powers. Like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. And it's like, yeah, cool ultra powers go. And yeah, then he kills Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. And then he puts their souls inside these phantom people, and it's like, "Oh, spooky scary." It's like, "Oh no, I've got to run. What can I do?" And then and then the fox like pushes the chicken off. He pushes her off. So yeah, it's like, "Wait, what? Oh no, oh whoa, oh god, jeez, oh god, wow." It's like, "Yar har har, yes, yar." Alright, next video, and that's about it. And then and then the Shadow Man's like, "Haha, time to take over the world, yay." Okay, next video is part 3. So basically, oh, is the chicken dead? Of course she isn't, she's the main character. And there's also all these phantom people who are all the phantom army, and they just talk for a minute and stuff, and yeah, they just do some random stuff like put the bodies away. And then Chica crawls away, and guess who she finds? She finds... she finds her friends. Well, not her friends. They try to kill her, but yeah, Foxy and Freddy and Bonnie, they're still alive. Like, okay, they talk. It's like, you know what? Okay, well, I'm sorry. You know, we tried to kill you, and that's kind of weird. But yeah. And then they also find this old bunny body, which is actually the original body of the Shadow Bunny, and that the Shadow Bunny is also still alive. Yeah, he's like, wait, what's going on? Oh God, wait, what? And then yeah, he goes back up to see his brother, and it's like, yeah, we're Shadow Generals. Like, that's pretty cool. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then basically the bear and the bunny and the fox and the other bunny and the chicken all split up. Well, but that's Bonnie Bot, by the way, and also Chica Chicken go up to kill Shadow Freddy, while the other three go and fight this really long. It's a really long fight scene, and they just fight all the freaking yeah. Okay, these guys also fight the bunny, the Shadow Bunny at some point. It's like, okay, cool, bunny against bunny, and then they all just fight like the you know, like the Phantom Army and stuff, and then the Bonnie comes in to save Chica from the Shadow Bear and stuff like that, and then just a really long fight. Like it's really long. It's like 10 minutes long. It's like, yeah, and it's like, oh, time to kill you. Like, please don't kill me. Oh no. And then yeah, so then these guys, they're kind of wimps, so they're just like, okay, let's run away, but like, let's not run away. And it's like, no wait, Freddy, no. And then the bunny guy had powers and like made Freddy jump off. It's like, yar, no, Freddy, how dare you? And then he goes to beat up the bunny. Yeah, and then all the phantoms, they just all die. It's like, oh no, I suppose because of what? Yeah, just forget it. They all die. And it's like, oh, Chica, please help. It's like, oh, I'm super. Also, yeah, by the way, at some point, I think I skipped over. Did I? Yeah. Basically, Shadow Bunny betrayed Shadow Freddy, and then Shadow Freddy took Shadow Bunny's powers, and it's like, and also his soul, sort of. It's like, oh, give me your powers, boy. And then you thought you killed him. It's like, alright, time to rip this bunny boy's head off. I was like, wait, no, please don't do it. And it's a, haha, too late, you hecking heck. Time for this bunny boy to die, haha. And then he just rips his head off, and the poor bunny boy is dead. It's like, no, not Bunny. And then the bear and the fox who were down there fighting the phantoms. It's like, oh, this poor bunny bot, he's so broken. He's like, oh, critical error. And then at some point, I think they kill the phantom fox. I think. It was actually one of my favorite scenes. It's actually a really cool scene. So like the Phantom Fox is about to throw Foxy over the edge, but then Bonsoir's like, well, I'm gonna die anyway, so I might as well, my final moments. And then he pushes the fox off the roof and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's insane, my guy. Whoa. It's like, yar, oh my gosh, Bonnie Bot sacrificed himself so I could live. Holy heck, that's insane. And yet then the fox is dead. And so then the bear, the shadow bear, has, like, you know, the Shadow Bunny's powers is taking over him, and it's too much power. It's like, alright, time to kill this chicken. It's like, drop the chicken, now you're gonna freaking die, and then these guys are like, oh, I'm so sad, wait, no, Bonnie's dead, oh golly gee, oh, what are we gonna do? And then, yeah, and then the place just kind of like, yeah, it just, yeah, he gets like, oh golly gee, he's like, oh, okay, I suppose I'm gonna explode. Oh yeah, and then, oh yeah, because obviously, you know, the bunny bot had like one final moment of his heroic sacrifice, and then the Chica person fell on the cage that the bunny boy put up, so the Chica is still alive for some reason, and then yeah, then the shadow bear just explodes and he freaking dies, and that's it. And then Chica and Foxy and Freddy, who are the only survivors, like, all right, let's just get these two dead bunny bodies and let's skedaddle. And also, yeah, Spring Bonnie and Fredbear are still dead, even though, you know, Shadow Jones are dead. So yeah, that's the end of Chica Chicken. So yeah, that's the end of Chica Chicken series. Alright, now we're on to the Toy Play and Seek. So takes place like, at this point we're like in between Golden Origins part 3 and Chica Chicken the Big Sad Movie part 1. There's like a 4-year time skip, so this is like in 1987 at this point, and there's these no animatronics who are like way further down the line of Freddy's, who are also way further down the line of Fredbears. Are like the latest descendants of Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, and then there's like, they're just called the toys, and then they play hide and seek, and that's literally it. They just play hide and seek, and then Toy Bonnie wins, but he finds this weird back area, and and then Puppet's acting kind of sus, not gonna lie. And so yeah, and then Toy Freddy gets locked in the security office at the end because he's dumb, and no one likes Toy Freddy because he's a silly boy. He's like, oh no, I'm stuck here. Oh golly gee, what am I gonna do? No, oh golly. So yeah, and then okay, yeah, and then next episode, you got the FNAF house part 1, where these other animatronics who were actually made before the toys, but basically they ran away when they were gonna be scrapped and replaced by the toys. So this takes place basically at the same time as the toy series, and so okay, we bought a house, and that's literally it. The animatronics that came before the toys, and they just bought a house, and then they find rooms to sleep in. But then at the end, Foxy's like, "Yar, who are you? And who is it? Find out in part 2." And basically, Endo, who's one of the animatronics, it's Endo's brother. It's King Endo. He's the king of the Golden Kingdom. There's also Beast Endo and Nightmare Endo, who are like his henchmen basically. And then basically all just happens that he just starts beating up everyone because he wants to get Endo back, when Endo's like, no, that's not cool. And then so he starts like beating him up. But then eventually the super saddest death scene ever happens. Well, also this guy dies, by the way. He jumps into a fire and freaking explodes, and so that's sad. But yeah, and then at some point as well, oh yeah, Shadow Freddy, he stayed behind at the pizzeria for a bit, but he came back. So like, alright, time to save everyone. But then he literally did nothing. Yeah, and also Goldie died. Yeah, Goldie died. Rip Golden Freddy, he died. And then the Beast Endo person died as well. And then he's like, now the golden, now Endo has the crown, which gave his brother all the powers. And then it's like, oh wait, what? No, please don't do it. Oh golly gee, oh no, this is so sad, my guy. And then yeah, King Endo just freaking explodes. And then also the FNAF house caught on fire, and so that's sad. And so it's like, oh no, my poor house. And then so yeah, it's like, well, Goldie is dead. Also the house burned down. That sucks. And then they leave, and that's about it. That's the end of. Oh, also yeah, I forgot to say, haha. At the end, King Endo turns out to be still alive. So yeah. Next we got is Toy Series Part 2, Puppet Secret. Basically, turns out the puppet in this isn't actually the real puppet. It's actually a fake puppet. And then it's like, haha, I got the real puppet captive. Ha 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 ha. It's like, you're so evil. It's like, yeah, I know that's because I'm so cool. Because I was originally an endoskeleton and I was gonna take over the role as puppet so I could take over the world for some reason. And then he also had this weird like spring Bonnie thing. Yeah, he had that guy. He just existed, and it's like, all right, you're my robot, you're my evil robot. And then like Mangle finds the attacks and is like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And then it's like, oh, they're evil. It's like, long monologue time, and then they just fight and stuff, and then eventually they kill the Springtrap guy. And it's like, oh no, he's dead. Oh golly gee, that's very unfortunate. I'm so sad about that. That's very, very sad. And I was like, wait a second, what's this? A soul comes out of the Springtrap and goes into Toy Bonnie. Oh no. And then guess what? Toy Bonnie becomes the evil Shadow Bonnie, and then he freaking snipes the fake puppet. Yeah. She gets smited, or it gets smited. And it's like, okay, well I guess we're alive then. And then they go and they rescue the normal puppet, and it's like, well, you know, I've been stuck here for the past like 2 years, you know, that's pretty strange. So yeah. Alright, next video is the Toy Series finale, and it's like, okay, after they dump the because obviously fake puppet just got obliterated, so they dumped the Springtrap body around back. It's like, hey, Toy Bonnie, you feeling okay? It's like, no, I feel kind of strange. It's like, okay, and they just kind of talk, and it's like, so how are you adapting now that you're actually back for puppet? And it's like, oh, you know, it's okay, I suppose. And it's just, they really just talk and stuff, and then it's like, oh no, Bonnie, are you okay? It's like, I'm barfing and coughing and stuff. And then guess what happens? The reason why Toy Bonnie was sick, his condition, is because he was being possessed by the evil Shadow Bonnie, whose soul was originally in the Springtrap guy, because guess that Shadow Bonnie from Chica Chicken, the guy who got pushed off the edge and then who had his brother Shadow Freddy stole his powers, that's the same Shadow Bonnie as the person who possessed the Springtrap guy, and he's also the same Shadow Bonnie as the person who possessed this guy. Oh my gosh. And then he becomes a proper Shadow Bonnie. And it's really just a bunch of monologue, to be honest. Most of my, like, half of these videos are just monologue. Yeah, and then basically he just kills all the toys. I was like, what should I do with these dead bodies? I'll throw them in the cellar. And it's like, okay, now I'm just gonna bring back Chica. I'm gonna bring back Puppet because she's cool, I suppose. Also, I'm gonna create these evil clones, these evil spooky kooky clones. That's not a word. It's like now I'm gonna move my shadow essence from the old dumb normal Toy Bonnie into the cool Chad evil clone Toy Bonnie. So ha. And then yeah, the old Toy Bonnie is pretty dead. So yeah. And then, yeah, I'm been like, Puppet's, what's going on? It's like, I'm sure it's nothing. Alright, I'ma just go to sleep. I'm tired. And yeah, and then we got the With Animatronics movie, which takes place, like, I'm pretty sure right after the last movie. I'm not sure. But yeah, and then it's actually a day after, I'm not sure. And then it's like, the puppets realize, wait a second, these toys people are actually pretty strange. And then we also got these other withered animatronics that were actually like even before the characters. So we had you got the toy animatronics, then you got the characters in the FNAF house coming before them, and then you got these withered people who came before the FNAF house characters. And there's like, oh, let's go get our revenge on the toy people. And it's like, oh, it's been like 2 years, we've been stuck in here for 2 years. It's like, this is strange. I could have sworn these guys weren't moving before. And then the puppet realizes that, wait a second, these guys aren't the real deal. They're the evil, they're like evil clones. And then the puppet joins the Wizards to take on this evil threat, these evil fake clones of the, and there's also the, it's confusing because there's this Unga Bunga, trust me, this guy gets important later on. And then there's the toy cupcake who was Toy Chica's cupcake, and they were, she didn't, or it didn't get like possessed, but then it get possessed at some point. But yeah, also Bonnie loses his face because why not? And then the evil clone toy Bonnie turns into Shadow Bonnie once more, and it's like ha ha. And then Withered Freddy wakes up, with the Golden Freddy wakes up, it's like, oh, I'm sad. It's like, oh, okay. And also the Shadow Freddy guy, who is actually, he's somewhat, because this is the original Shadow Bonnie, so he thinks this Shadow Freddy is like his brother, but he's not. So he thinks, oh, I've got to kill you. It's like, I'll do it later. But then, and then the Shadow people run away. It's like, oh no, I'm being beaten up. And then the Shadow people, they just leave. It's like, you ain't getting back here, boy. Come here, more. And then they leave. And there's like, oh, okay. Also all the clones are dead. And then, the Toy Cupcake becomes evil. It's like, I've got to get revenge on those wizards for killing all my friends. And then they find it's a he, by the way. He finds, like, he gets a new suit and he finds these glamour animatronics in the back. It's like, these were gonna be used for some other location. They're pretty cool. Let me just activate these guys. Like, yeah, you guys are totally gonna be, used for scrap. So, and I saved you guys. So you guys pay me a debt. And it's like, okay, what do you want? And it's like, what do you want? It's like, you guys are gonna help me kill all the evil people, And then we just got a random monologue about me talking about like big subscriber counts. So yeah, then we got part 2, and basically all that happens in part 2 is the Withers are like kind of beaten up after the fight with the evil clone toys. Yeah, it's confusing. And then with the G kind of messed up. And then they just can't talk for a while. Don't really do much, and then they fight the Glamrocks, and then eventually all the Glamrocks die except for Glamrock Freddy, and also Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie come back. It's like, oh, what in the goodness, godness, heck, oh my goodness, the Shadow Bonnie's back. It's like, wow, that's insane, my guy. Yeah, I know. And then they go fight the Shadow Bonnie. Yeah, then they just get really wrecked. But then Shadow Freddy gets taken down by Shadow Bonnie. It's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And so then there's a bunch of people fight, and all the animatronics to get like captured except for Withered Bonnie, who managed to escape, and the Glamrocks then looking for Puppet, who they hid away because the puppet got knocked out after the end of part 1. It's like, oh, that was a really easy hide Spock, but okay. And then Spock, I said Spock, and then Withered Bonnie saves all his friends. Like, that's pretty cool. And then what happens then? And then the Glamrocks leave because they realize, hey, wait a second, the puppet and the cupcake was evil, and the cupcake was then the Glamrocks left. And then guess what? Shadow Freddy got taken down by Shadow Bonnie, and then Shadow Freddy got possessed because he died. Shadow Bonnie stole Shadow Freddy's power, just like Shadow Freddy stole Shadow Bonnie's power originally, and then he became Shadow Trap. Oh my goodness, that's insane. It's like, haha, I'm so strong, and it freaking kicks the hell out of everyone. And then he and it's like, I'm going to explode myself, you weirdos. get punched. And guess who returns from a bit away? The FNAF house characters. Oh my heckin' gosh! It's the first crossover of the series. Yay! It's like, oh yeah, hi. We recognize you. I was like, okay, well, you know, it's time to throw some hands, everybody. I'm ready to throw some hands. Oh yeah, and by the way, yeah, the Shadow Trap was about to explode, but then he was like gonna tackle everyone, but then when everyone just like dodged out of the way, and he's like, oh no, my T-posing this, oh golly gee, oh no, this is so terrible, I'm gonna explode, oh golly gee, no, and then he just explodes. It was funny because all the main villains, like at this point, just all explode. Like Shadow Freddy exploded, King Endo exploded, and Shadow Trap exploded. Yeah, and it's like, well, wanna stay here for a while? It's like, yeah, a house kind of burned down. Basically, just explain what happened. But then, guess what? Shadow Trap is still alive. Oh my gosh, what happens next? Then in this random gibberish title video, the Cupcake decides to work with Shadow Trap and also King Endo. You know, because remember I said King Endo survived the events of the FNAF house. It's like, want to work with us, boy? And it's like, sure. And then basically the shadow power that Shadow Trap had, he uses it to make this fake world, whatever, and it's called the Fake City. It's like, what in the heck? And then so everything goes black, and it's like, oh, what the? Wow. Everyone is being pulled into the shadow world, or the fake world. It's like, oh, gotta run, no! And yeah, and then everyone gets thrown into the Fake City. Then we got the crossover movie for 200 subs, so yeah. And then these three are like really big gods and stuff, they're really powerful. And then the Wizards, along with the FNAF house crew, along with the Chica Ching characters, because they were around when, you know, the stuff happened. Also the Wizards get new models, because I finally got good Wizard models, so they're slightly different. And so basically there's also these demon endos that the Cupcake created that I still have to bring back. And it's like, okay, and they split up because basically all their dead friends, so like Goldie for the FNAF house crew, and also Shadow Freddy for the Wizards, and also for the Chica Chicken crew, there's Bonnie, and there's Spring Bonnie, and there's Fredbear. And it's like, okay, we gotta go fight these compounds where you see they're guarding souls, like, I gotta get the souls, and then basically they just fight and stuff. But then eventually Endo gets taken by his brother. And so that happens, but then if they eventually get all the souls, and also guess who turns out to be alive, not really, is Shadow Freddy, the original Shadow Freddy. And yeah, and then turns out, yeah, he did die in that explosion at the end of Chicken Chicken, but he became Ghost, and it's like, oh, okay. And then they gather together, and guess what? Their friends come back alive. Oh my gosh, Shadow Freddy's alive, and all the Fredbear people are, except for Goldie, because they couldn't find the soul. I was like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. But then King Endo betrays the other villains, like, and gives Puppet and Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy back their powers. Like, alright, go do some stuff with this. And then the Shadow Freddy gets a new body, and he becomes friends with Shadow Trap, and it's like, hey, wanna hang out? It's like, yeah, sure. And then, oh my gosh, all the characters teleported in, because obviously, you know, Golden Freddy has teleport powers, and, you know, some of the characters teleported in. Turns out, oh my gosh, King Endo betrayed them, and King Endo was like, yeah, that's my fault. So yeah, it might be. And it's like, King Endo, get here, boy. It's like, no, bye. And then King Endo leaves after betraying everyone. But then it turns out, yeah, they all fight for a while. But then it's revealed that this Shadow Freddy person in this new suit is actually the original Shadow Freddy. And he's like, wait a second, that means that other Shadow Freddy, that, you know, the withered Shadow Freddy that I thought, you know, was the one who was my brother who, like, betrayed me. That wasn't the actual Shadow Freddy. You were the proper Shadow Freddy who betrayed me. And it's like, yeah. And then they start beating each other up, and it's like, huh, you know, Cupcake, don't mind if I do, but I'm just gonna steal the powers. And he kills the Cupcake, and it's like, huh, super villain betrayal number 2, and then he becomes a Shadow Nightmare person. It's like, haha, time to die. And yeah, one of my favorite scenes is like, yeah, he just stabs Shadow Trap and kills Shadow Trap, so that's unfortunate. And then he leaves, and then Nightmare leaves, and it's like, oh, well, looks like our world was gonna be returned to normal. But then guess what? There's another scene where it's the Endo skeleton. It's like, after, you know, he got stolen by King Endo. It's like, haha, time to tell you a story about the Golden Kingdom, which I still haven't explained yet. So yeah, and then yeah, and then basically the characters. This is another kind of short video. Well, not short, but, you know, I can explain it quickly. Basically, the characters come back to the pizzeria. The Chica Chicken characters leave. They get teleported away by Golden Freddy. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side, everybody. It's like, yeah, let's go, I'm so excited. I was like, alright, see ya, and they go poof, and then Golden Freddy comes back like poof, and it's like wow. And then they go into the pizzeria, which is, you know, obviously they haven't seen like the entire day, and it's like, wow, we're actually back, oh my gosh. And then, you know, the FNAF house crew, you know, stays with the FNAF other people. And then there's also this random guy who was just like, yeah, we're closing down the pizzeria, because, yeah. Also, they get like a new body or whatever for Goldie. They just like put him in some new like clothes, and also, yeah, this is the vice manager. This is Vincent from, if you remember, this is Vincent from the Golden Origins. And so they put Golden Freddy, you know, he didn't have a face, so you just put Golden Freddy in like a new suit, that sort of, just give him like a head, you know, while it's like, okay, we're gonna get your soul back, Golden Freddy, don't worry. And so the FNAF house crew basically just join with the Wizards, and yeah. And then guess what though? It's a spooky secret entrance, and it's like, oh, these guys are still here, but so these must be the original toys, oh my gosh. And so yeah, then that's basically it. Well, your soul's... Okay, shut up. Next we got with toys return. Wait, guess what happens? The toys return, like the original toys, and so, you know, everything is calm and everything is normal. But then guess what? The original toys are now phantoms, and they're like, those puppet and all her freaking dumb people, they left us to die. How dare they? And it's like, yeah, it sucks. So then it's basically like Nightmares Attack, part 6, part 7. They basically just go up. They, you know, they beat, because everyone's trying to hold, you know, birthday party for like, you know, just existing, kind of. They didn't really have a reason for the party to happen. It just kind of happened, and it's like, okay, cool. Oh yeah, and basically just like they just beat up everyone basically. They steal a few people, and it's like, oh, we're gonna look around for all of our friends. Oh golly gee. And then by the end, the only 3 people, or the only 6 people who are still alive are both of the Freddys, both of the Chicas, and both of the Foxies. Like, what are we gonna do? It's like, we gotta go find our friends. Apparently I hate the bunnies, because the bunnies are always kidnapped for some reason. I don't know. All the bunnies always get all the abuse. I'm not sure why. But yeah, then basically in part 2, they're like, okay, we gotta find everyone. And also, yeah, Goldie was frozen in the freezer at the beginning of part 1. So yeah, he didn't get stolen. It's like, okay, we found this guy, so we gotta get him. It's like, okay. And then at that point, the Wizards go up to fight the Phantom Toys. It's like, oh, these were the toys' original bodies, oh my gosh. And then they just go fighting and stuff, and yeah. And then basically, yeah, all the Phantoms decide, you know what, yeah, RB, my bad. And then they decide to, you know, be good. But then Phantom Toy Freddy's like, oh, we still gotta take these guys out. It's like, alright, please don't do this, time to die, mister, no way, please, you don't have to do this. Like, yes I do. And then Phantom Angle comes up, and at some point, yeah, Phantom Golden Freddy tried to fight them, but with the Golden Freddy tried to fight them, but yeah, he didn't do much. And then Phantom Angle comes over, it's like, oh yeah, he beat us up. It's like, oh, it's the inside, yeah, we're gonna try and convince him not to be evil. It's like, okay, yeah, you do that. I got thrown through a window. He's in there somewhere. Okay, ouch, yeah. And she convinces, you know, Phantom Golden. There's so many names. Phantom Toy Freddy not to be evil, and then all the people who are kidnapped wake up. It's like, oh god, it's people who kidnapped us. It's like, don't worry, we're nice now. I was like, oh, okay. And then all the characters. This took ages. This like scene took ages for me to set up. Like, I just get all the characters. It's like, yeah, we exist, I suppose. So yeah. And then they decide to let the toys stay, but also they're phantoms, and so the puppet goes away, and all the characters go back to normal. But then the toys get put back into their original broken bodies. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. And then they kind of just leave, and all the toys go back into the back. And then, yeah, that's basically the end of the toys return. So that's cool. Next we got is Candy's Burgers and Fries get shut down. Basically, there's this other location called Candy's Burgers and Fries with Candy the cat and Cindy and a bunch of random other characters, and basically things go bad. Some toddlers show up. Basically all their a bunch of their customers just die, but then the manager comes over. I know it's funny because this is actually the same manager. This is the same kind of character. The old man is this is the same old man as the old man from the Golden Origin. So that guy who shut down Freddy's to return to the pizzeria is Vincent. And also this old man who tried to kill all these people, this old man decided to set up his own kind of place based off Freddy's, like, alright, let's call it Candy's and stuff. But then the old man comes over and is like, alright, well, time to kill you all. And then he also kills 2 of the penguin animatronics, but one of them escapes, like, oh freaking god, hecking, jeez, heck. And there's also some random toddlers, but they're not important. And then we got the origin stuck into Bonnie. Oh my gosh! And so basically, one of the employees, one of the the customers of Candy's actually survived. And it's like, alright, let's see what's going on here. I was like, oh, it's a place called the FBI. And it's like this random guy is like, oh, I hope no one finds out my super secret. And then he goes and is like, also he's a stoner, by the way. He explores the building for a while. And then realized, I should go back, check, make sure everyone's, safe. It's like, oh god, I gotta hide. Well, I know what to do. I can go hide inside of the suit. I'm sure everything will be fine. And I was like, alright, open up, FBI. Literally, because this is the FBI. I was like, alright, you guys. And then I kept you guys, because I'm part of the collectors, which is a group of humans who try to collect and sell animatronics on the black market. And it's like, this dog guy called Sparky and also this Irish person is like, you've kept us in here for like a few weeks, and it's like, we're gonna kill you now. Wait, no, please. And then they kill him, and then they leave. And then the Tony, who's the customer, by the way, he's in the sunken to once. He's like, oh, this is a new life. Oh god, and then he falls and freaking dies. He just dies. But then his soul possesses the suit, because if you die inside an animatronic suit, then your soul possesses the suit. So that's pretty cool. And I was like, what should I do with this FBI place? I know exactly what to do with it. It's a perfect idea. And then he just burns it to the ground, and then he leaves. So yeah. Next we got Candy Opens the Casino, which isn't even like a proper title for that. What happens in the video? So basically, this is like just really simple. All the people, they got Old Candy, Blank, Cindy, Candy, Penguin, Jester, also Rad and Cat, who are hella dead. They're like, okay, we gotta run away from the evil old man. And then they go inside this casino, and guess who's there? Who runs it? It's Shadow Candy, who's the brother of both Cindy and Candy. So yeah, and then they just kind of hang out for a bit, and that's it. They just like, alright, it's like, oh, but then it's night, and then it turns out Shadow Candy's working on Rad and Cat, who are kind of dead. And then we got Freddy Mask. How long have you been going for? Oh god, 50 minutes, bro. 50 minutes. Yeah, I'm like not even halfway. Oh god, I gotta speed things up. Okay, so basically, you got Freddy Mask security. So this is Jeremy Fitzgerald. He's doing some FNAF 2 stuff. Then he meets Glitch Trap, who is like this kind of guy who's kind of based off William Afton, because at this point William Afton is in Springtrap, but that'll be explained how that happens later on. And then they beat up all the animatronics, and then they're like, yeah, and then because obviously in FNAF 2 the Freddy head protects you against all the animatronics, like, hey, this is really cool. And then Glitch Trap's like, oh, if you like it so much, why don't your face just get welded to it? And then he just welds Jeremy's face to the mask. Then he becomes Freddy Mask security guy. Get it? Because it's Freddy Mask is in the Freddy Mask, and then security guy because he's a security guy. This is actually probably my favorite like custom made character. It's pretty neat. And then they just fight all the evil people, all the evil animatronics, and then it turns out Glitch Trap is like a virus person. And then that's basically it. And then we got The Search for the Soul, which takes place like a week after the Return to the Pizzeria. And it's like, oh, okay, random stuff happening. But then Bonnie's all edgy because he's like, oh, we have to get Goldie's soul back because I'm super in love with him. And it's like, alright, we'll do it. And then at night, they're like, okay, let's while everyone's sleeping, let's go to this random forest and get the Goldie soul back. And then they find this host, which is like the body a Goldie soul is in, and some character development for Bonnie, which is actually makes him like one of my favorite characters. But anyway, yeah, and then there's Endo's like, oh my god, the Endo must have died somehow, because remember the last time they saw Endo was when King Endo took him in the fake city. He's like, Endo must have died, and then his Goldie soul must have gone to possess him, and then that Endo skeleton just dies, and then they get Goldie soul back, but then turns out, guess what? That was a fake Endo. King Endo just did that to make people think that Endo was dead, so they would stop looking for him. It's like, so I can punish you, ha ha ha. And then they go, and guess what? Goldie is back. Yes, Golden Freddy's returned. It's so wholesome and stuff. Next we go on to this random video, which isn't really that important, to be honest. Basically all that happens is, Goldie gets acquainted with all the new people, and yeah, random stuff happens. And then Chica basically follows this cupcake from the this is the Unga Bunga cupcake. Remember when I said he'd be important later from Withered Animatronics, from the Withered Animatronics movie part 1? Yeah, he is important now. So yeah, and he guides Withered Chica, because she was like, I wonder what happened to my cupcake, because Toy Chica's cupcake turned evil, and that was the evil cupcake that got killed. And then obviously his new suit that he got after he became evil was the FNAF house's Chica's cupcake. So yeah, I was like, oh, what's down here? And also Puppet's there for some reason. I don't know why Puppet's there, but she is. And guess who they found? Did they find a fake puppets? You know how it said fake puppet was originally an endoskeleton? Yeah, that was the fake puppet's original body. And then the original Cupcake returns, and he's pretty cute and ooh. Enough to he or she. I think it's, I don't know. And then they're like, oh, super cool star stuff. But it turns out the Cupcake who yeah, the Cupcake who led Chica down there is secretly working for someone super secret. Guess who he's working for? It's the Phantom Puppet, aka Fake Puppet. Remember Fake Puppet from the toy series? Yeah, yeah, it's back, and it's a phantom, so that's cool. And it's okay. Yeah, the animatronics get fixed. It's a really simple plot, basically. Yeah, so basically, they get some new parts for the FNAF house animatronics, and then they get them fixed, and then they're like, oh, time to get you fixed, guys. And it's like, oh, dang, bro, look at our new get-ups. We're so swaggity swag. Wow. And it's like, these are really cool models. And it's like, yeah, I know. And then they're all fixed and stuff. And then they have a going away party because they somehow hacked into Bill Gates' bank account and they stole like a bunch of his like $1 million. And so now both all the animatronics, you know, the two groups, the Wizards and then the FNAF house crew, they're all millionaires. It's like, alright, let's go buy a really cool house. And it's like, okay, bye. And yeah, but then at the end, guess who's ready to attack? It's also they get Fake Puppet's original body for some reason, and then yeah, Fake Puppet and Oonga Boonga Cupcake, because all it says, listen, Ooga Booga. Or sorry, not Oonga Boonga, just Ooga Booga. Yeah, so it just says Ooga Booga really. And then Rise of Shadow Candy, which is actually a really recent video I made. Wrong one. Did I? Wait, why is this one here? Did I mess up? I guess. Okay, I guess that was longer. Never mind. It's fine. Anyway, Rise of Shadow Candy, really simple. The characters find out Shadow Candy is evil. He possesses, or he revives Rad and Cat who are dead, and pretty he just tells everyone, get out of my casino. And then Cindy and Blank get turned into shadows, and then Rat, and then Chester, Candy, Old Candy, and Penguin all escape. And then we go on to the stylized animatronics go to school, where these random animatronic people, like a ton of random animatronics, they're really just a bunch of random people. There's like the security puppet, and there's stylized people show up, and there's a go to school. But guess what? There's this Professor Golden guy as well as Principal Trap, and if you recognize these guys from before, these are actually Fred Burns Pink Bonnie version 3 from the Golden Origins. You know, the guys who got freaking burned because they used up the learning mode or whatever. Yeah, and then they go to school and that's it, and then Baldi's there for some reason. So yeah, this guy, yeah, you just want to watch the video to see what happens because it's a simple video. Then we got part 2, which is actually like, I think this is like my most recent like roleplay that I made. Yeah, there's a gap. Like this was October 26th. This was September 10th. So yeah, like over a month. Basically, they find they're sent for some after school cleanup, even though they did nothing wrong. I suppose the teachers just hate them that much. And then basically they find this this bear thing up in the attic, and it's like, oh, spooky, scary. And then basically they just fight the bear, and then eventually Principal Trap pulls out the OP weapon, the fizz gun, and then he just grabs the bear with the fizz gun, and it's like, wait a second, what? It's like, time to die, boy. And he's like, wait, what? Oh no! And then they just throw the bear, and he gets freaking yeeted, and then the bear is knocked out, and then it goes back to normal for a while. Obviously, you know, there'll be part like day 3, 4, and 5 as well, but obviously I haven't made those yet. So yeah, now we got Sparky and Misfit. So if you remember Sparky from Origins of Sunken Toy Bonnie, yeah, that guy exists. I was like, huh, what's going on here? You know, this was a really good video, except, you know, the music kind of got messed up. And also this random guy called, this random stylist Freddy guy is like, hey, wake up. So, oh, I'm dumb. And you realize that's the stylist Endo over there. This is the Endo from, guess what? The stylized animatronics go to school. That's right. That means at some point he leaves school and becomes a big booming boss business person. But whatever else, we got these random prototype funtime guys, but they're not important. And there's also a drug cult person who is also not really that important either, but he'll probably become important at some point. And then we got more people. We got a bunch of random people just hanging out, you know, just hanging out as you do. They're more collectors, like, you know, you saw in Origins of Sunken Toy Bonnie. Go away. Yeah, they're humans who collect animatronics to try to sell them for big bucks. And it's like, oh, we gotta stop these animatronics. Oh, golly gee. I'm sure it's fine. And it's like, wait, no, please. I was like, yeah. And then, time to go knock these guys out. And it's like, oh no, not enough Funtime Foxy, you can't do that. It's like, haha, you fool, I can do whatever I want. No, wait, please, no, arr. And then the two Funtime people, they get knocked out, but they'll come back eventually at some point, probably. And then basically and then also the Draw Club Fox left at some point as well. And then basically, oh, these two, actually, I remember, I have to bring you out, there's so many characters from this video I have to bring back. Like, I have to bring back Sparky, these two collector people, as well as, actually, no, I think they both died. Did they both die? They might both die. I don't know, I think one of them is still alive. Yeah, this guy, I can't remember, I think his name is Greg. His name might have just genuinely been Greg. But then, yeah, I have to bring back Sparky, I have to bring back the stylized withered bear, and then I also have to bring back stylized Endo as well. And then basically they managed to evade capture and all the collector people die, except for this guy who loads, the two Funtime people into the back of his truck, and he's like, alright, time to go do some stuff. And next we go on to Freddy Mask Security Guard Part 2. Wow, so this takes place like I don't know, like well, there is a pretty big gap between Part 1 and Part 2, so I'd say like maybe like a few days after. But anyway, basically they go to New York, because apparently they're in New York now, and I was like, alright, let's go. And then they find Nightmare. Oh my gosh, remember Nightmare from the fake city? Yeah, the guy never shot a Freddy turned into, oh my god. But he's really dumb, because he has no powers, because yeah, reasons. So okay, we're over an hour now. Oh goody. Are we at least over halfway? Okay, at least we're over halfway now. And basically, yeah, they find Nightmare, and Nightmare's like, yeah, I only recently came into this dimension, and I still have to get my powers back. I also got mugged by those guys over there, who, guess what, are stylers with the Freddy and Stylus Endo from Sparky and the Misfits. Oh my gosh. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna go and sort them out. It's like, okay, thanks. It's like, alright, and also the Cupcake, who's also from the school series, like, alright, time to go beat these guys up. And then they just get beaten up, really. And there's also this bear, who's like kind of a psychotic killer, who's like, haha, time to kill you people, haha. And then yeah, it's like time to just die. And then you think maybe he killed Endo. It's like, oh, he's like, haha, time to die, and he's pretty insane. You can tell. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna leave with the money, haha. But then Nightmare finally gets his powers back, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna just head out. And also the Endo guy, you think he's dead, but he's actually not dead. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna head out. He's like, oh, yeah, he's like, oh, hi, bye then. He's like, oh yeah, thanks for getting me my money back. It's like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, he leaves. At the end he leaves, yeah. Also, Jeremy at the beginning went to go to his apartment to get some stuff. It's like, oh, time to die, whoopsie, it's like, time to die. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna die. And it's like, oh my god, is that Jeremy Fitzgerald? Like, yeah, Jeremy Fitzgerald to the rescue, whoa, oh my gosh, die. And I originally meant to, pause the video, but I ended up accidentally ending it, so it continues on in Part 3. And basically, for Golden Freddy Meets Springtrap, really simple plot. So basically, these FNAF house characters have to live at the pizzeria, trying to find the bank. And also Styles with the Freddy, who left after, last time, Freddy Mask Security Guard Part 2, finds all his other Styles with their friends, like, yay, my friends are back, yay! And then there's also the Draco Fox, who shows up at some point, yeah, but then Golden Freddy goes around, and he finds Springtrap. It's like, who is this guy? It's like, oh my god, this is the original Spring Bonnie, like the first ever Spring Bonnie, like with Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, oh my gosh! But then obviously at this point, he's possessed, Afton got Spring locked inside of him, but basically it's like a split personality, because sometimes he's Spring Bonnie, and then other times he's Afton. So it's so super cool and edgy and cool and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, my dude. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like, okay, one to hang out with me and my crew. It's like, sure. And then basically, yeah, and then they explain some stuff. And then we go on to Freddy Mask Security Guard Part 3, wow. And so yeah, it picks up right after Part 2. They killed the bear, or Jeremy just ran him over. Then they collect the money from the homeless shelter, which was the entire reason why they came there, because they wanted to steal some money from the homeless shelter. And then also, yeah, and this Endo guy is still alive. Originally I was gonna have him die, but he's actually like one of my favorite characters. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm still alive then. Cool, haha. And then they leave, and then they crash the car and they lose all their money. It's like, god freaking damn it, Jeremy, you're useless. Yeah, and then, but two of the animatronics from the original pizzeria, where Jeremy worked at, actually survived. And that was, these guys, Toy Chica and Puppet. It's like, oh hi guys, like, hey. But then both Toy Chica and Puppet get killed by the big Chad himself. Nightmare. Yeah, he shows up like, hey guys, what's up? I'm just here for a meeting, you know, with my boy. And guess who his boy is? His boy is it's King Endo, who you know I haven't seen in a while. It's like, oh god, I'm sad, I'm depressed. And it's like, oh yeah, and then they just talk and they're like, hey, let's want to work together. And it's like, yeah, sure. And Jeremy's like, okay, well, I heard their conversation. That was kind of strange. It's like, alright, Jeremy, I honestly don't care. I just want to go home. It's like, alright, fam, I feel you, my guy. And then they just leave, basically. Next episode, then we got part 4. So basically, they're going around, they find this plaza place, and they're like, okay, time to do something. And basically, they meet some random people. Like, they meet this guy, and it's like, yeah, hi, yar. Fiddly dee, fiddly do. So, okay. And then they'd find this random guy eating alien remains, and then there's also this blacklight, I don't know, the guy, dark time Freddy person who just, you know, takes Glitchtrap hostage. And then basically, Jeremy meets all these other, there's these 2 random people who go to church for some reason. Also, there's another collector. And they meet, Jeremy meets all these ignited endos who, yeah, they're like, hey, what's up, fam? And then there's this person who's like, who's obsessed with Glitchtrap, and she's like, I'm gonna save you, Glitchy. And I was like, no, seriously, her name is Vanny, by the way. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save you, Glitchy. It's like, that's really not a good idea. And then the Dark Time Bearer is like, yeah, how about no? And then just freaking like pushes her off. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna die, oh no. Oh. It's like, oh gosh, she's just dead, okay. But then guess what happens? So, Glitchtrap also dies, oh no. But then Glitchtrap's soul goes on to possess Vanny, and it's like, oh god, that's not good. And then the Black Time Bear just fights them, and it's like, and then this guy tries to hang himself, but that doesn't work. And then basically Jeremy fights him because when Glitchtrap, you know, gave, you know, welded the Freddy head to Jeremy's face, he accidentally gave him some of his virus powers. That's why, you know, Jeremy can like fight big robots and stuff. That's kind of the reason. And then also the church explodes, and then the bear dies inside the church. It's like, I'm burning alive, and then he burns alive, and then he dies. And then Jeremy, the church is like, there's a lot of explosions, a lot of like stuff exploding in this series. So yeah, and then basically it's like, okay, that's cool. It's like, yeah, that's pretty neat. And it's like, okay, it's like, are you seriously gonna join us, Vanny? And then yeah, Vanny joins them as the Glitchtrap's new apprentice, basically. And she's like, okay, here's this wedding gift. And like, wait, we're getting wedded. Yeah, it's like, yeah. And look at my super cool white bunny suit. Oh my gosh. And then Vanny has now joined the crew. Oh my gosh, wow. And then that's the end of that. And then Vanny joins, like, Glitchtrap is rethinking his life choices. And then we got part 5, which is the finale. And basically, this is kind of confusing. So, back when Glitchtrap originally, it's kind of explained that basically Glitchtrap was originally supposed to be like basically like another Afton, but like he didn't end up being another Afton, he became like a good version of Afton, while there was like another version of Glitchtrap that he calls his brother, called Malhair. That was basically like a carbon copy of Afton, you know, super British and psychotic and stuff. And then basically Glitchtrap ran away, and he also met his guy when he was first, like, you know, one who came into this new world called Old Man Endo, who's, you know, he seemed like a chill dude. So like, alright, time to hang with my bro. And then there's also these other purple people, and it's like, and also turns out that, you know, Vanny, the wedding gift that Vanny gave Glitchtrap had the soul of Malhair inside of it, and Glitchtrap came to Old Man Endo to, you know, seek guidance. It's like what to do, but then Vanny finds these purple people who turns out, yeah, they may or may not have sort of, they drowned Old Man Endo. Poor Old Man Endo, he sucks. Well, no, he was cool, he was chill. Then more exposition about, it turns out that Malhair is Glitchtrap's brother, sort of, but not really. And then they fight this purple person, but then the purple person throws the wedding gift into the river, and then guess what happens? Malhair comes back. Ooh, spooky, scary, oh my gosh. And it's like, hello there, I'm Malhair, do. And then he fights this purple person, and it's like, time to kill you. It's like, oh no, please don't. But then after I made his death scene, it's like, I don't want this guy to actually die. But then turns out he was just a clone for some reason. Then there was a normal version. It's like, alright, time to run. And then yeah, it's like, you know, I'm just gonna barricade everything. And there's also these are the purple people, and it's like, okay, cool. And then, you know, Jeremy and Vanny and Glitchtrap all fight Malhair, but then Malhair Malhair is about to kill Glitchtrap, but Glitchtrap is like, Jeremy, take my power. Like, well, what's going on? Oh my gosh, what's this? And then Jeremy gets super cool glitch powers, because he already had sort of a glitch powers when, you know, he got powers from Glitchtrap welding his face to the mask. But then Malhair became a super ultimate perfect form. And then it's super and all that kind of stuff. But then basically, and then he was like, oh, super duper powerful, haha. But then, he was about to kill Jeremy, but then, like, Vanny was like, no, it's like, wait, what? And then, then Malhair went back into the doll thing. It's like, okay. It's like, oh no, but Glitchtrap's dead, no, ho ho. But then, Jeremy gave his powers back to Glitchtrap and he was alive again, but Jeremy had some super cool glitch powers, so now he had one glowing eye, because that makes him cool, I suppose. Also, Nightmare shows up again. It's like, what do you want? It's like, yeah, I'ma just destroy this like Glitchtrap guy, this Malhair guy, because he actually like rivals my strength, you know, because of how powerful he is. So like, yeah, I don't really want anyone else on the world having the possibility of beating me. And then turns out Glitchtrap won like a contest, and they go to Spain to go to a hotel. And it's like, all right, well, time to leave America. Yeah, hi. And then the Nightmare's origins, basically, these guys who were more characters that you'll know about more in the Animatronic Factory. You'll know a lot more about these characters, and also all the characters, you know, those other broken version 4s and 5 and 6s, whatever. Fairburns from Bonnie, you'll also know about them in part 2. A lot about them in part 2. And then basically they're like, yeah, we got no customers, no one really likes us. Oh, I'm sad. I was like, yeah, okay. And then basically they just do random stuff. But then guess who arrives? It's none other than Nightmare. It's like, what do you want, Nightmare? And then he just turns them all into nightmares, and it's like, ha 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 ha. I was like, yes, I got my nightmare army, ha ha. And then yeah, that's it. And then they just make a nightmare army. And then finally we got Fake Bob's Revenge, or Rampage, I mean. And then like, I think this is like a week or so. I think this is a week after the animatronics get replaced or repaired, or get fixed, whatever. And then basically they get more parts. It's like, alright, fine, you have toys, you can get some of your parts fixed. And they're like, oh, goody gumdrops. It's like, yeah, we're got fixed, yay. I was like, yeah, be happy, mister. It's like, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, bye. But then also Mangle was dumb, and she didn't get at the parts in enough time, so she got all broken and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do now? We're kind of sad. But then Phantom Puppet, or Fake Puppet, finally enacts its revenge, and basically, and just takes a soul out of its back pocket and puts it in, because it was technically a puppet, so it puts it inside the Endo person, its original body. And it's so confusing. So now its original body is its own person. It's like, alright, and we're gonna work for you. And then the Ooga Booga Cupcake, and as well as the Endo guy, he doesn't really have a name, it's just like Endo, he's just Endo. Then Ooga Booga Cupcake, Endo, and Fake Puppet go, and they don't really knock out the Wizards, but they really badly like beat up the Wizards, and like, oh, beat up, yeah. And they basically like deactivate them, basically. And it's like, haha, time to take over the world. Yay. And then go part 2 happens, and Toy's like, where did all those Wizards go? And then they go and they realize, wait a second, all the Wizards got freaking murdered, oh no. And then they fight the Ooga Booga Cupcake, and then eventually the Ooga Booga Cupcake gets just crushed by Toy Freddy at some point. Yeah, but then also Puppet got knocked out, and then Fake Puppet possesses Puppet's body, so it's an actual puppet now, and super cool puppet powers. Wow, haha. But then this guy betrays Fake Puppet, this Endo person, and then Nightmare shows up again, and it's like, hey, what's up? It's like, what do you want, Nightmare? And then the Endo joins the good guy's side, and then basically Fake Puppet gets ripped outside of Puppet's body, and then all the toys leaves, like, yeah, we won. And then and then Nightmare just turns Fake Puppet into, I was like, wait, what's going on? Oh, and then he turns Fake Puppet into it turns him into God freak damn it, into Nightmare on. Yeah, also it's a he now, so yeah. It's like, alright, let's go home, everyone's like, yay! And then there's also this random guy, and it's very deep lore about this delivery guy, but he's actually not a delivery guy. Basically what he does is he's a hobo, and when this delivery guy comes over to get Ollie Withered's mail or whatever, he just knocks him out and kills him or whatever, and then you know, he puts all the cargo and stuff inside the Withered's place, like, alright, pay up. And it's like, alright. But instead of giving it back to, like, the company, he just takes it for himself to buy drugs. Alright, next we're on to The Return of Shadow Bonnie, which happens, like, that night. And then they also, once again, with the Golden Freddy didn't actually get, like, knocked out or anything. He just kind of fell asleep. So he got frozen during the toys attacking, and now when the fake puppet attacked, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna just go to sleep. And so they're trying to fix the Withers, but like, yeah, we have no clue what we're doing. But then Toy Bonnie starts to see Shadow Bonnie in the window, but no one else can see Shadow Bonnie, so it's just in his mind. Oh my gosh! And then basically he basically has a heart attack, and then he becomes Shadow Bonnie again. But then what? There's a difference. This Shadow Bonnie is different from a Shadow Bonnie, or this Shadow Bonnie is different from a Toy Bonnie, because there's two different people. But then BB basically becomes Matt Patton, big brain time. Turns out that if you remember back at the end of the toy series, when Shadow Bonnie moved his shadow essence from the original Toy Bonnie to the evil clone Toy Bonnie, a remnant of that Shadow Bonnie remained inside of the original Toy Bonnie. That means when the original Toy Bonnie got his stuff back, Shadow Bonnie took over, and then but this Shadow Bonnie is like a nice Shadow Bonnie, so yeah, he's wholesome and stuff. And it's like, no, we just want to talk. And then also, so there's basically two Shadow Bonnies. There's one Shadow Bonnie who, went on to become Shadow Trap, and then he died during the Fixed City. And then there's this guy who's just a nice wholesome boy. And then the Toy Bonnie's like, I'm not convinced. It's like, I'm gonna try and kill you. But it's like, bro, I have fire powers. It's like, give up. And it's like, alright, sorry, do you want to live with us? And it's like, yeah, sure. And then the Withers come back alive. It's like, yeah, we're back alive, and everything's happy. Yeah, hi. And then the toys, and then Shadow Bonnie basically goes to live with the Withered. So yeah. Next we got, it's a new FNAF house. Finally, we're back with these guys. So yeah, they just get a new FNAF house. Also, there's this estate. This is literally the exact same as FNAF House Part 1. They just get a new house, they find places to stay, and then they go to sleep. Also, there's this estate agent Toy Bonnie guy. He'll probably come back at some point. I was like, yeah, hi. And then their freaking thing explodes. Also, yeah, Springtrap is now part of the FNAF House gang. So yeah, I was like, we're talking about deep stuff. But also, ever since Golden Freddy, on a side note, ever since Golden Freddy came back alive, when his soul was gotten, after he got killed by like King Endo's henchmen, like all the way back during the FNAF House Part 2. Yeah, he's been acting kind of strange, as if he's like forgetting something. He's like, oh, what is he forgetting? Well, we'll find out eventually. So yeah, and it's like, all right, time to go to sleep. And then yeah, they just all go to sleep, and then even though it's like the middle of the day, just like how it is in FNAF House Part 1. And then the estate agent boy just, he leaves, like, gonna go see my wife. And then we get Golden Freddy Remembers, which is basically like, Golden Freddy wakes up, he's like, where am I? He's like, oh my gosh, I'm back in Fredbear's Family Diner, what in the heck? And yeah, then it's back with Henry and William. But this actually takes place in between Part 1 and Part 2. So this is like when they're still working on these new animatronics. But then again, that doesn't make sense, because before Part 1, William didn't actually see the diner before, but then in this one he would have seen it before Part 1, so it doesn't really make sense. But it doesn't matter. So then nightmare stuff happens basically, and this nightmare stuff actually did happen, but it's basically a flashback. And then it's like, oh wait, did the Fredbear just move? And yeah, basically all the stuff that's happening, except for all the nightmare stuff. All the stuff that with like Henry and William did actually happen between Part 1 and Part 2 of Golden Origin. So you could technically put this like nightmare section as like the second event in the timeline, but whatever. And then basically super secret spooky stuff happens. And then guess what happens? And then Golden Freddy and Fredbear switch places. Like, oh wait, no, please don't do this. Oh no, oh, wait a second, what? Oh my gosh, I'm you? And why you me? Because we're the same person. Yes, Golden Freddy is Fredbear, the original Fredbear, because the original Spring Bonnie got turned into Springtrap. But you may be wondering, whatever happened to the original Fredbear? Because he got turned into Golden Freddy, and obviously that'll be explained later on. And then it's like, wait, what's going on? It's like, yeah, hey buddy. It's like, hey. Also, the reason why they're in this white void is basically because the FNAF the new FNAF house map wasn't working. So I just had to pretend, oh yeah, he's like halfway between a dream and reality. And then turns out I was like, wait a second,
brother?
Yes, and then it's revealed because if Springtrap is Spring Bonnie and Golden Freddy is Fredbear, that means Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie or Golden Freddy and Springtrap are brothers. Oh my gosh, that's insane. And then you got Nightmare's Army. Basically, a bunch more stuff happens. Happens like right after the Golden Origins, not the Golden Origins, Fake Puppets Rampage Part 2. Yeah, you know, probably I should probably put this. I'm thinking because something in the Mysteries of FNAF House, which is next episode, kind of correlates with this. But really, I should probably move this so it happens like right after like the Fake Puppets Revenge or the Fake Puppets Rampage or like the Return of Shadow Bonnie, whatever. Basically, you know, Nightmare and Nightmare Freddy and Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Young come back, and there's like, hey, also yeah, King Endo's here because no, he's working with a Nightmare. But then guess what? Remember what Nightmare got at the end of Freddy Mask Security Guy? He got the baby plush thing, and then guess what he does? He destroys the baby plush, and then Malhair comes out and is like, wait, what's going on here? But then because of some weird voodoo stuff, Malhair is now under Nightmare and Nightmare Fredbear's control. Oh my gosh. And then we got more lore stuff about basically just like this. It's more lore stuff about this like random next thing that's gonna happen at some point where the crossover with a collab crossover, but that's not important right now. Anyway, because that won't be happening until like December. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, now we got stuff we need to do. So yeah. So then we got Plushtrap. So wait a second. Oh yeah, Plushtrap wasn't here during the Nightmare's Army. It's because he was in the FNAF house sneaking stuff out. And it's like, and then they find the secret basement trapdoor place, and it's like, what's down here? And then they go down. It's like, there's some secret spooky place, and then Foxy's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna live down here from now on. Like, yar, look at this lovely this bunk bed. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't care, because he wanted to find the mattress because he lived under the stairs like Harry Potter. He wanted to find the mattress, but like, yar, this is even better than finding a mattress to sleep under the stairs with. I'm just gonna sleep in this bunk bed. So he sleeps in the bunk from now on. So yeah, and then Golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy stay downstairs or stay upstairs, like, and then Plushtrap just freaking yeets everyone, and then Springtrap and Plushtrap fight for a bit, and then it's like, oh, and then Plushtrap said that the nightmares were coming. It's like, who are the nightmares? Oh my golly goodness. And then yeah, it's like, oh wait, Plushtrap, and then Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy got freaking messed up by Plushtrap, and it's like, oh no, that's not good. And it's like, well, you know what, I'm just gonna go sleep, and that's about it. Next is we got Nightmare Foxy's Raging Alcoholism. I know, what an amazing name. So at the end of the Nightmare's Army, or it's Nightmare's Army, Nightmare allowed Nightmare Foxy to have a day off. So basically this is what happens during Nightmare Foxy's day off. He goes to this bar where he sees, guess who? He sees Shamrock Freddy, you remember Shamrock Freddy from all the way back with the origins of Sunken Tobani, the guy who was there in the collector's place along with Sparky. Yeah, he's there. Also this guy, who is also the same guy as the principal Springtrap from the school series, because stuff happens basically. I need to, you know, it'll be explained in the school series day 5. But basically, yeah, he has a new job as a bartender, and then they rile Nightmare Foxy up on alcohol, and he gets a drunk AF, and then gets to the big return of Sunken Toy Bonnie. Oh my gosh, the stoner boy. And he's like, hey man, what's up fam? He's like, wait, I remember you from the collector's place, you know? And then he's like, oh yeah, how you doing? Want to stay with us? And he's like, oh yeah, sure man. And then he goes and lives in the bar, and then it's like, okay. And then Nightmare Foxy's like, yar, I don't even know what's going on, to be honest. And then yeah, and then Nightmare shows up and is like, yeah, you know, this is kind of what happens with Nightmare Foxy. And he's like, oh okay. And then Nightmare leaves, and then Shamrock Freddy realizes, he drank like 20 beers. Like, I said all those beers could be on the house, but I shouldn't have said that, so now I would have gotten so much money. Oh no. But then next video, Shadow Freddy goes missing. Oh golly, actually I need to check see what videos that I can show and what videos I can't show, because some of these videos, you know, they're a little bit I'll just say they're a little yeah, they're spoilers because I haven't released them yet. So let me go quickly check that. Alright, well luckily for me I can actually just go through. Okay, well, okay. Anyway, okay. So we got Shadow Freddy goes missing, where they realize, wait a second, we haven't seen Shadow Freddy, so they do some therapy stuff with Shadow Toy Bonnie, but that's not important. Anyway, and they realize, wait a second, Shadow Freddy hasn't been seen in a while. And it's like, I wonder what's going on over here, kind of sus. And then some random hijinks happens, and then they find Shadow Freddy, and it's like, oh well, that was simple. But then Shadow Freddy looks a little strange. He looks a little different. You know, his teeth are not glowing like they usually are. But then guess what? We move over to the Nightmare's perspective, and guess what? Shadow Freddy is actually trying to infiltrate the Nightmare base for some reason. But then he gets caught by Nightmare. It's like, haha, time for add meet you to my collection, haha. It's like, wait, no, please, like, haha, it's too late, buddy, die. And then Child Freddy gets strung up. He's not dead, but you know, he gets kidnapped by a nightmare. So yeah. Okay. Next we got is the animatronics in the city. Another kind of quick one. Basically, there's this other group of animatronics that haven't showed up until now, called all the Igniteds, and they also meet the Chica Chicken characters who, you know, they haven't been seen. They've been, you know, homeless for like past. I think it's been like 2 months at this point. Maybe not 2 months. Maybe like a month. I don't know. Ever since, you know, because they left at the end of, you know, they teleported away at the end of, or actually the beginning of the Return to the Pizzeria, and then they fight the Igniteds, but like, I thought you were trying to kill us, like, we're not trying to kill you, and it's like, okay, sorry, and then the Chica Chicken people left, and they'll come back eventually, everyone comes back eventually, and then the Igniteds are like, okay, cool, and then this random endoskeleton person, and there's also Kermit and Mickey Mouse for some reason, they show up. Also, this paramedic comes and somehow, even though he's a paramedic, not a mechanic, he does some stuff, fixes the Ignited, sort of, not really, just gave them different models, because I didn't like the models I was using for the Igniteds originally. It was like, oh, use better models, and then Mickey Mouse and all the Kermit people go away. It's like, what should we do now? And then, guess who's going down the street to get some milk? It's Springtrap from the FNAF house. Like, oh, okay, those guys are weird. Alright, let's leave. And then Ignited Freddy's like, that guy looked just kind of funny. Want to go kill him? It's like, yeah, sure. And then they go hunt Springtrap, and then Springtrap finds Afton's original house. You know, William Afton's house. Like, I remember this place because I'm technically still part of Afton, because Afton's part of me, because, you know, he got spring locked inside of me. That's weird. It's really weird, but yeah. And then basically the Igniteds go to hunt him inside a house, but then he fends them off, and then he realizes, wait a second, you weren't looking as funny? No. And then yeah, Ignited Golden Freddy kind of got knocked out. And then Springtrap is all sore and stuff. It's like, oh, yeah, our bad. I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, see you later, buddy. And then he leaves, and then Springtrap is just like, what happened? Also, he got his milk originally, you know, from 8 animatronics in the city. But basically, and then the 8 animatronics got rid of his milk, and he's really sad, so he has to get more milk. So yeah. Next, we got another new series, Tale of the Spooky Freddy, where we got, guess who? The Splinks animatronics, and they're like, well, it's almost Halloween, except it's like the beginning of September, but it's October, but like in the lore at this point it's like the beginning of September. Because basically my lore starts at like, I think it's like really early in August, like the August 3rd, I think, and at this point it's like really early in September. But at my current point in my lore, it's like a few days until like Halloween, because I did like a big time skip. But I was like, oh yeah, let's get and then they get the Spooky Freddy prop. But then Spooky Fred's actually a demon, and then he comes awake and like he goes and beats them all up. Yeah, but then Foxy gets murdered, and then he creates Spooky Foxy, and he's like, alright, let's go kill everyone else. It's like, alright, cool. And then basically the Splinks go into this city, and it's not a city, this forest, and it's like, alright, let's split up. Bonnie and Chica go one way, me and Goldie go the other way, says Freddy. And then Bonnie leaves his Chica to die, and then Chica becomes the spooky animatronic. And then Goldie and Bonnie and Freddy, they get cornered in this house, and they fight and stuff. It's like, oh no, what's going on? Oh no, super duper punch, kick, stomp, stuff like that. And then they call the 911 people, but then they still run away, and then they leave. So now Chica's a spooky animatronic too. Then we got part 3, which is the finale. So basically they just escaped the forest, and it's like, oh, okay. You guys do some stuff. It's like, you're half lady. And then basically, eventually, Bonnie gets caught because Freddy basically sacrificed him to the gods. And then Goldie is like, oh, what's going on? He's like, alright, we gotta go find her. Yeah, also there's Spooky Bonnie. Hi, Spooky Bonnie. And Goldie, he kind of got blinded. He's like, oh, what's going on? Wait a second, what? And then, yeah, Freddy and Goldie get captured. It's like, oh, time to kill all of you. Hoo-ha. It's like, wait, no, please don't do it. It's like, well, it's too late. Oh, no. And then he throws, like, no, wait, please don't do it. And, oh no, Goldie, please, no, time to die. And then Spooky Bonnie pushes Goldie off the edge. It's like, no, please don't do it. Too late, buddy. And then Goldie dies, no. Oh, well, no, Goldie doesn't die, I forgot that's the wrong lore. And then basically this guy shows up. Spooky Golden Freddy, or Spooky Fredbear. Yeah, this guy shows up, Spooky Freddy, or Spooky Golden Freddy, or Spooky Golden Freddy, or Spooky Fredbear. Is like, wait a second, what? And yeah, then they found like a bunch of, the Spooky animatronics found a bunch of other like suits just like the Splinks, because the Splinks are like really basic models, because they're dumb and no one likes them. No offense, but actually that's a lot of offense, but whatever. And then basically, what happens then? It's really simple, really. And then, yeah, and then the Splinks turned, the spooky animatronics turned the normal Splinks Golden Freddy into spooky Golden Freddy or whatever, spooky Fredbear. But then they pretended to kill they pretended to kill Splinks Golden Freddy by throwing that extra double body thing off the edge. Also, they turned out they're all demons, and then they decide, hey, all I wanted was friends. And then they decide, okay, well, I kind of feel bad for, kind of killing all your friends just so I can get friends. And then Splinks Freddy's like, oh, you should have just asked originally, because we would have definitely been friends. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then he brings back all his friends because he's a demon and he can do that. And then the Splinks and the spooky animatronics go their separate ways because the spooky animatronics are demons, so they don't need souls, so they just gave the Splinks back their original souls. Like, okay then. And then also Freddy got a new body because his old body got pre-murdered, and then just throws his old body into the ocean along with the Golden Freddy extra body. I was like, wait, what about an extra body? It's like, oh, you don't want to be traumatized, Golden Freddy, it's fine. And then we got on to the animatronics get ready for Halloween, which is the newest video in the lore, like, canonically, and chronologically. And so at this point, it's been like a month. Yeah, it's been like a month since, or 2 months since something interesting happened. Like, oh, okay. And then they just like, wait a second, it's the end of October. What happens in the end of October again? Oh yeah, Halloween. And then basically it's stuff happens and they just get the pizzeria ready for Halloween. And then Toy Freddy wants to eat all the sweets because he's fat. And then Shadow Bonnie, no, there's so many names. Withered Bonnie takes off his face for his Halloween costume because reasons. Also, I forgot that Mangle was in a different area, so then I had Foxy go into the closet, and then he finds Nightmare Mangle, who's like an apparition. I might have that be some plot point about his having dreams about the nightmares for some reason. And then he goes in to watch his educational videos, totally. And then Withered Freddy allows BB and JJ to go to this haunted house to do some cool, spooky, exploring haunted house YouTube videos or whatever. And so they go do that, and then Withered Bonnie's depressed as usual, and then Endo loses his mug of tea, or his mug of coffee. He loses his mug, so he can't have his coffee, and he's really sad. He's like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, and then boo-hoo, I'm so sad, boo-hoo, 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 and boo-hoo, and boo-hoo. Oh, my throat's ruined. Okay. And that is it. 1.5 hours, that's pretty long, I'm not gonna lie. That's what she said. Oh, I'm so funny. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's a quick rundown of all the lore stuff, really, because at the moment, all the videos after this video are videos that haven't been released yet. And they will be released because at this point, I'm going into the thing where like I'm uploading every day a Halloween related video. This Animatronics Get Ready for Halloween is the first one, and then I'll be doing more. So yeah, that's kind of it. So that's kind of all my lore at this current point in time. Obviously, I will update this at some point. I might update this in maybe like, I don't know, like a month, maybe a month. Would that be reasonable? Yeah, maybe like end of November. Like the last weekend of November, I might update this. I should probably write that down. Yeah, so I'll update this a month later. Hopefully, most of the series, like the school series and like the FNAF house series and all that kind of stuff, most of that will probably be done by then. But who knows? The only person who knows is me, or my procrastination on whether or not I actually want to complete the series. Well, I do want to complete it, but like on how fast it's or how slow it's gonna take me to complete that. So yeah. Also, we might have to do that. I might actually do it like early December, because we're planning on doing the crossover thing early December. You know, when I was talking about that one Nightmare, the Nightmare's Army, we were talking about like some lore about this crossover stuff I'll be doing with Mimic and Term. Yeah, I might wait until that'll probably be after I release that video. I'll probably make an update video to this. So yeah, that's about it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn notifications so you never miss another upload from your boy FNAF Junkie. Because I want subs. I haven't gotten that many. I've gotten like I think 3 subs in the past like 3 days. And like, bro, like on Friday to Saturday, I got like 20 subs. Then Saturday or Sunday to Wednesday now, I only got 3 subs. Like, bro, I need more subs, otherwise I'm gonna be die. I'm gonna die. Oh shit, I think it's like 4 subs. Whatever. So yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. I've already said all this stuff. And with all that said, bye bye everyone. See you never. I'm so funny. Oh god, I'm sad. Okay, bye.